Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever for a 4v forecast on the Neurox's map generator. Before we get into introducing our teams with Team 1 in the southwest and Team 2 in the northeast, let's go ahead and direct your attention down to the buttons down below, the like, dislike, subscribe, and join buttons, as well as the comment section. Leave me a comment telling me about your day. I'd love to hear from you. And let's get into casting this, starting with the introduction of the yellow Seraphim in the southwestern corner. Going first, land, and his name, of course, is Gumpy. Then to his east, we have ourselves a purple Cybran going first, land, by the name of RX0 or RXO. Up to his northwest, we have ourselves a gray Aeon going first, land, by the name of MILF Hunter. Then up to the north of him, we have ourselves a blue Cybran going first, land, by the name of Fluffy Ginger. And that's all for Team 1. Moving on to Team 2, we have ourselves a Cyan Seraphim on the far eastern edge of the map going first, land, by the name of Steck. Then we have ourselves to the north a white Aeon going first, land, by the name of Fong. Rocking that Aeon come right here in the middle of the map. Then we have an orange Aeon to the west of Fong by the name of Phaeton, who has decided to go first, land. Then over to the east, we have ourselves, last but certainly not least, the red Cybran going first, land, by the name of Waste Man. That did not work the way I wanted it to, but nevertheless, camera issues aside, let's get into it. This map having about 7,000 reclaim almost. And of course, being a MapGen, we have these beautiful lakes at the north and the south that these players get to fight over. So gonna see probably some naval play. A ton of mass extractors here in the middle, so any fights here in the middle do mean a lot. We already have some Flare and Spirit Harass planned to go on here in the middle. Fong getting out very, very early with those light assault bots and scouts to try and deal some damage to his opponents. The players are grouped up very close to each other, so in this land fight, you kind of have to beat all of the opponents instead of just one or two. And then we, of course, have players in these positions that are Steck and Fluffy Ginger, who are kind of in a position where I would think you probably just go for Navy. A lot of the reclaim is also for these players. They can reclaim these naval factories that are T2, 446 mass, nothing to scoff at, can very easily get you your first T2 mechs. The only players I kind of have questions for is, of course, the air players, which are going to be, of course, Wasteman and Gumpy. They're going to have a bit of trouble, but before we get into discussing the map some more, there's a T1 bomber out, already gotten one kill. Fluffy Ginger trying to do some fancy hover micro, doesn't seem to be working as it's going to get shot down by an interceptor, only going to be able to kill off one engineer. No, he might get another one. He gets two engineers with the death, with the corpse of that bomber. And then the bomber gets reclaimed, so probably wasn't worth the mass he spent on the bomber, but still. These players going to be duking it out. The two flares from earlier we were talking about for Fong get into the base, but they're going to die without picking up a singular kill, other than killing a mole, but a mole costs next to nothing, so I don't think that RXO is going to be too upset with that. And back to discussing the map, the air players, they don't really have a lot of access to mass extractors, and the two teams going about it very differently. It seems as though Wasteman's been given one mechs, whereas Gumpy has three mexes, so Gumpy in a little bit stronger position economically very early on. You're gonna have to see if that translates to him getting a earlier T3 air factory, because if that does, this could be huge for the game. Those two Tech 1 mexes he has over his opponent could change the entire game with how early he's gotten them. T1 bomber now out from Wasteman trying to get some damage done. Let's go ahead and track it as it flies over towards the base of RXO. RXO getting all of the harassment this game, earlier getting those flares coming into his base, and now the bomber is going to come in and go for the grouping of 3 engineers that RXO has. RXO tries to go for a dodge, only 1 engineer makes it out alive. The bomber doing some tail finning kind of action, some nice little looks there. I love to see the bomber's engines turn on and off. Those rocket engines of the Cybran does look very aesthetically pleasing as the bomber comes through and drops bombs once again to kill off more engineers. Every bomb getting double engineer kills, and now it's gonna go down. But killing off 4 engineers, not too shabby for a T1 bomber. And let's go ahead and turn everything. I fucked everything up. Okay, fixed the camera. Speed and range on the way for Gumpy. MILF Hunter getting range, and those seem to be all of the upgrades going on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's more. Does Fong have any kind of upgrade going on? He does seem to be a pretty aggressive player. Actually, I don't even know where his comm is. That's how aggressive he is. Steck over here trying to create a beachhead of his own, trying to use land to win, and this is pretty good teamwork out of his team. There's also a beachhead now produced by Fluffy Ginger, so both sides deciding the same way of fighting this battle. Both of them deciding land over navy, although a naval yard is on the way for Steck, and the same cannot be said for Fluffy Ginger. And range now on the way for Fong, so these upgrades going through. Seems as though the first upgrade that was completed was range for MILF Hunter. Speed and range now on the way for Steck. Speed and range almost done for Gumpy. And it seems as though MILF Hunter trying to get a little bit of aggression out onto the field. Over here to the west, it seems as though Fluffy Ginger and Phaeton are going to be meeting when their worlds collide. Cybran and Aeon going to be fighting it out. The gun speed and range upgrade already finished for Fluffy Ginger, which we didn't see happening earlier, but did indeed happen. He's going to be getting in here. He's going to be fighting it out with his comm. Going to be able to pick up already 8 kills, 9 kills, I would guess, before. Nope, he's going to just switch over to the comm. And he has his own units showing up. He's fallen down to 5,000 HP. He's lost half of his HP already, so this is not going very well, as speed is already done for Phaeton as well. So both of these players going to be trading blows, but it seems as though Fluffy Ginger might be in danger of dying momentarily, but Phaeton stops firing at Fluffy Ginger for some reason, turns around and walks away. And that's going to be the end of that little debacle. A bit of a aggressive attack coming out from Fong over here on to the east, to the southeast of that little bit of engagement up there. And it seems as though Fong going to pick up a few mass extractors, going to be able to use these units to get a little bit of damage done, and every bit of damage is going to be useful here in the early game. It can snowball out of control. Fong has finished range, speed on the way. MILF Hunter finished ranged earlier, and he's trying to use it to just peck away at the units, chip away one Aurora at the time from Fong. He has managed to get up to 15 kills. He just killed off a mass extractor, and he's going to make things work. RXO going to this beachhead that was established by Steck. He seemingly forced Steck to stop his upgrade, which is really unfortunate, as now Steck's going to lose all of his production facilities, meaning that Team 2 dealing with this kind of beachhead operation a lot better than Team 1. Oh wait, no, this is Team 1 on the south. Team 2 is at the top. The scoreboard disagrees with me heavily. Over here to the north, there's a bit of a run-by of a Mantis and a Sky Slammer, not really going to achieve anything of note. In the middle, speed and range versus range means the MILF Hunter has to run away, and Gumpy now with that speed and range upgrade starting to push towards Fong, starting to get some of these mass extractors killed, trying to get a little bit aggressive on his white opponent. Aeon and Seraphim battling it out over here on the far east. T2 now on the way for RXO. Speed and range almost finished up for Steck. Things just going quite well for both teams. I think both teams are kind of happy with their position in the game so far. Nobody has any kind of blowout losses yet, but then again, it's only 9 minutes, or almost 9 minutes in, so I guess you wouldn't expect that. Overall economies, Team 1 doing quite well, so the Southern team doing pretty well for itself, about 30 mass a second ahead. Overall reclaim, though, showing Team 2 ahead, with Phaeton and Steck getting the lion's share of reclaim this game, Of course, that makes sense with the large amount of reclaimed Steck had, and Phaeton kind of expanding out more than anybody else on his team, so going to be able to get more reclaim via that option. Gumpy and Fong fighting here in the middle, but Gumpy doesn't have any units, and Fong has a lot of units. So Gumpy in a little bit of a dangerous position as the units glide up on to the comm of Gumpy. He's going to be falling down to 3,700 HP and falling. This is very dangerous. He needs some support from a teammate. Otherwise, he is just going to be forfeiting his life down to 2,000 HP, 1,800, 1,500, 1,400. I can't say it fast enough. It's falling off like I don't water off a duck's ass. It's that's how the HP is falling off of Gumpy's comm. But RXO shows up to be the savior of Gumpy. Gumpy gonna walk away with about 700 HP. And MILF Hunter gonna push Fong back. Now Fong under threat of dying, and Fong, oh, how the turntables turn! Fong being forced back against his will. He's down to 700 HP and he's down to 0 as he explodes in the glorious Aeon fashion. Glory to the princess and all that. Death before dishonor. And now we have ourselves our first ejection. It is going to be a full share game, so his base is gonna be transferred over to Phaeton, who now has double base. Luckily for Phaeton, his ally is also Aeon, so this base is going to be a lot easier for him to manage. Not that it will be easy. Speaking of Phaeton, he's over here with a large attack on the western side, trying to push off this beachhead from Fluffy Ginger, and it does seem as though the beachhead option has been basically dismantled for both sides. Neither side are going to be able to make that work. Drop of Ingies out from MILF Hunter to try and set up a naval base. It sets off the naval base, builds a T2 torpedo launcher, which is going to kill off some frigates, but seems like a huge investment, loses the T2 engineers. Hopefully he can get something worthwhile out from that. Now with the 3v4 on the map, Phaeton really needs to start applying some pressure, and Team 1 really needs to keep up the momentum, keep up the tempo. Do not want to let any player sit back, consolidate, and eco with double base. It gets very dangerous very quickly, so you have to be careful. And you have to temper who you want to kill. Of course, killing off Fong, probably a good option, considering he is the highest rated player for Team 2. So gonna be I don't think it was a mistake by any means. Not that I am the one to ask on all things FAF. Large groups of units out for Phaeton, very aesthetically pleasing as they move through the countryside. And of course, Nano Repair on the way for Gumpy. He took that beating earlier at the hand of Fong, and now deciding that he wants to stay alive a little bit longer. Gonna get Nano Repair on the comm, get his health up very quickly. A ton! And by a ton, I mean like 5 to 6 bombers coming out now for Gumpy. Gumpy gonna be coming in. I don't know where these bombers are going. He has 3 gunships and 3 Natha bombers and 1 T1 bomber coming out to try and deal some damage. I'm guessing this might be going for like some power options, or maybe the T2 HQ of you know what, I'm very unsure. Is this going for the T3 Pigeon? It's going for the T3 Pigeon maybe, or the T2 Pigeon? Okay, an interesting play out from Gumpy, and it does somehow work. The gunship's now gonna come in, and they're gonna turn around quite quickly. He gets the T2 Pigeon, but the T2 Pigeon just gets reclaimed by the T3 Engineer, and he starts building a T3 Pigeon in its place. So that was a express way of Control K-ing that Pigeon that he wanted to probably build on his own. And now we have the Volthu gunships getting shot down by 1 Swiftwind, which is going to Swiftwind's gonna get a lot of experience, up to 1 vet, gonna be up to maybe 2 vet. It's up to 2 ranks of veterancy. So that Swiftwind gonna be happy with himself, gets to go home with a shiny medal as long as he completes 10 more sorties. Over here to the north of that little air engagement, we have MILF Hunter and Phaeton starting to fight it out a little bit. MILF Hunter gaining some good territory now on Phaeton, taking back the territory that was previously lost by Fluffy. As he moves up to this group of 3 mexes, these T2 and T1 units will just roll over this position, and Phaeton, while he has a absolutely massive army at the moment, as we can go ahead and check, sitting on 154 Aurora. He's just not really able to consolidate them anywhere. He's having to play across the entire map, so he's trying to stay aggressive and apply pressure evenly, whereas his opponents are kind of just making it a bit off-kilter, kind of pushing and prodding at places where they feel Phaeton is weak. Not to say Phaeton is playing poorly, he's playing quite well, even though his comm is a little bit low on HP and a little bit nerve-wracking. He does have a couple of asylums there to keep himself sane. And right over here to the east, we have RXO doing a land invasion with his comm, which I really like, overcharging the T2 mexes, killing it off up to 2 ranks of veterancy already as he starts to push Stek back. Both of these comms have gun speed and range, but Stek has a lot less HP. T2 PD now being thrown up as RXO continues to try and deal economic damage to Stek, and it does seem as though Stek is going to lose a lot. He's lost 2 T2 mexes, and that's going to be the massive majority of his economy. He's now the lowest eco player at 31 mass a second, now 21 mass a second, and that's going to be brutal for the Cyan Seraphim as he continues to fight it out. Both him and MILF Hunter now at T2 Navy, but unfortunately MILF Hunter got out the destroyer first, and now MILF Hunter is just going to start destroying Stek. Stek in a very difficult position, but in the middle, MILF Hunter about to go down. I can't believe I almost missed this. MILF Hunter going down to the large Aurora army out from Phaeton. The only good thing coming from this is MILF Hunter's explosion going to kill off the massive majority of that army that Phaeton had, but Phaeton applying all of his pressure onto the Gray Aeon, taking out the only other 1500 rated player. The 2 highest rated players for both sides now down, and their bases being controlled by the 2 second highest rated players on each side, meaning that now Phaeton, ooh, never mind, Gumpy getting the base, and Gumpy is a 1200. He's going to be taking over the base that was formerly held by MILF Hunter. RX, oh my gosh! T3 Strap Bomber out on the field now for the fourth Wasteman, and I can't believe I missed this. This T3 bomber up to 28 kills, killing off mass extractors as it pleases, and also dropping a bomb onto the comm of Gumpy, up to 5,921 mass killed. That's a few T2 mass extractors. Why am I doing everything wrong? I just accidentally copied a YouTube link into my you can go see what I was watching if you looked at the chat. You can go pause it. This bomber gonna get another T2 mex killed, and I can't believe I almost missed so much, but I did manage to catch most of it. And it does you can see pretty easily where that T3 bomber was doing its magic. You can see the line of mexes it seemingly killed, and it just wreaked destruction across the map, killing off a lot of the economy for Team 1, but Team 1 still ahead by about 60 mass a second, whereas Team 2 behind. A lot of that probably down to Stek losing much more economy than his opponent, Fluffy Ginger. The difference between Stek and Fluffy Ginger alone is 30 to 40 mass a second, so you gotta keep that in mind. Over here in the middle, still a very large army out for Phaeton. Has a bunch of transports, could see some spicy drops. And over here to the east, it seems as though RXO, not RKX, sorry. Shout out to RKX out of nowhere. Whoa! Wow, that's unexpected. The destroyer for MILF Hunter did not manage to kill off the HQ or Stek. So Stek's still in the Navy. He has his own destroyer out now. The Navy over here, Exodus now on the way, being produced this time by RXO. And of course, gonna be pretty massive if he does manage to get that fully set up. Over here, a large drop. The Berlin airlift of Auroras coming in. Aurora's Fervors, an entire army being dropped on to the base of Fluffy Ginger, and that T3 Mex, that is pride and joy. The T3 Mex, the entire mass economy of the Blue Cyber Nation, gonna be going down to Fervors and Auroras. That's going to be absolutely brutal falls into the fiery death that it belongs. And now this naval player who has T3 land, and I guess you could call him a naval player, the separated player for Team 1, going to be losing a lot. But no, the T3 Mex lives as T3 or as T1 PD is spammed out. Oh, but does the T3 Mex go down to the Whaler that now shows up? This time, Wasteman trying to show up. He needs to focus down the Mex. Focus down the Mex! Oh, Strat Bomber's coming in to kill off the anti-air and the mechs, and now it's that first Strat Bomber up to 36 kills and almost 2 ranks of veterancy. The airplay going heavily in favor of Team 2. Now, Gumpy over here in the middle fighting Phaeton. He has a pretty beefy gun comm. He has a gun, speed, and range, and nano. He's going to have to run back to the water. RXO showing up with his own army and his own gun comm, trying to push Phaeton back, but Phaeton just a force to be reckoned with, and also there's all of this air in the area. The Strat Bombers could come in and drop some juicy bombs onto Gumpy if Wasteman notices, and it does seem as though Wasteman is going to start tracking over towards Gumpy. Is Gumpy going to take a huge hit of health right now or not? Oh, Gumpy is in a bad position, but it does look as though he's going to get to the water. The 2 Strat Bombers are going to drop their bombs, going to deal a ton of damage, putting him down into the yellow. Nano is going to do quite a little bit for him, but he needs to keep fighting. It seems as though the units of Phaeton are just rolling through the hills and causing so much damage. Now Phaeton down into the yellow in a little bit of danger, but Mercy's showing up trying to deal with Gumpy. The Mercies lose their targeting as Gumpy goes underwater, and Gumpy kind of just needs to play it safe. The Strat Bombers now coming in. RXO gonna eat 2 to the face. And RXO in a little bit of a dangerous position as he's starting to be pushed back by Phaeton, but Phaeton's numbers thinning. And it seems as though we're going to enter a stalemate here, but Phaeton now underwater getting hit by a destroyer, needs to get back above land. He needs to get back on land. Oh no, Phaeton may just be dead. His comm isn't going to be able to deal with 2 destroyers worth of DPS. That's a friggin' pipe dream. You need nano. Probably double nano to deal with that, honestly. And the Strat Bombers coming in, going to be trying to kill off the T2 HQ. There's finally some ASF showing up on the field, this time for Gumpy to try and protect against these Strat Bombers, but is it going to be enough? Phaeton tries to get back on land, but there's a bunch of hoplites here, and they're going to unload their payloads of rockets at him, and the Salem in the water, the destroyers that were threatening him earlier, are now just going to be firing at him, and Phaeton is dead! He has fought so hard for his team, and he goes down in a blaze of glory as RXO, Fluffy Ginger, and Gumpy work together to kill him off. And that's going to bring this back to a numbers disadvantage for Team 2, who's been in a numbers disadvantage for the majority of the game. And now Gumpy is going to start pushing forward with his Rambo comm. It's going to be super strong. He does need to worry because there were Mercies being produced. There were Strat Bombers. His team definitely doesn't have air. He should be the most aware because he is the air player, and I will continue to alliterate. I don't know if that was alliteration or rhyming, but still. Strat Bomber comes in as the entire force that would formerly belonged to Phaeton just shows up, and Gumpy just shows up and dies. He just walks back on land and dies immediately to the Strat Bombers. Oh, wow. This game is moving fast, as now it is officially a 2v2. We have Steck and Fluffy Ginger versus Wasteman. Or no, Steck and Fluffy Ginger both having their tiny bases. And then we have Wasteman and RXO sitting on huge bases, which they can use to kind of just build way too much stuff to kill each other off. And it's just tit for tat, both teams trading blows, and it's such an even fight. The destroyers out from Fluffy Ginger contributing heavily to the success of his the land forces of RXO. The base that formerly belonged to MILF Hunter are now finally going to be transferred over to another player, this time over to Fluffy Ginger, as RXO wants his teammate to have double base as well. Nothing similar yet happening for Wasteman, but I wouldn't be surprised to see something See this base that formerly belonged to Fong be handed over to Stek. There's a bit of fighting now going on as the units out from RXO try to run by, but they run into quite the dangerous situation. A whaler and the base I was talking about, Fong's base, transferred over to Stek, so now Stek has a bigger base, a bigger economy, and a bigger choice of how he wants to play this game. No longer subjugated to the small island over here. The naval battles over here on the eastern side, these two T2 torpedo launchers are really helping out the cause of Stek, as the Exodus class destroyers are going to go down for RXO. Stek resurfacing on land over here on the eastern side. A dangerous call. I guess he doesn't have to worry too much about air, as all of the air out for RXO just now going down. He is producing a lot of air units now. His hydro died, but nothing else. That's a bit strange. And over here to the west, there is a attack out from RXO. Harbingers, Obsidians, and Zeus, Medusa. All of the T1 artillery. Going to be killing off 3 of the mexes for Wasteman. And Wasteman is doing a stellar job this game. We haven't talked about it very much, but he has done amazing in the air position. We were talking about very early on how he had less mexes to begin with, and he managed to out-eco Gumpy, who even got a second base, and or maybe not out-eco, but out-build on air, which is huge. And he's got a bunch of Revenants sitting around. A experimental has been completed. I wonder where that is and what it is. It's a Monkey Lord for RXO, and that could be huge. He needs to get that moving. I wonder what his plan is. It seems like he wants to send it towards Stek, and I think that's a legitimate option. Stek building up a lot of tactical missiles that he's just not using. I think those tactical missiles could be huge. Oh no, they can only hit 1 T2 max, those tactical missiles. Oh, I guess he maybe killed off the naval factory. You know what? If that's how it worked, it was good, but otherwise he needs to stop building these because they're just a lot of mass. There's a bit of an attack coming out from Wasteman in conjunction with the gun T2 com out from Stek. Trying to push back RXO, trying to make RXO's life a living nightmare. Another Strat Bomber out over here on the western side, trying to deal damage over onto Fluffy Ginger, but Fluffy Ginger now has set up his own SAMs. He has decided that he no longer wants to deal with Strat Bombers causing him grief, at least in small numbers, so runs away with that one. And overall, the game stagnating a little bit. This run by out from Wasteman, gonna get in here, gonna get into some T2 and T1 production, some T2 mass extractors. These asylums, they protect things, but not for you. As Hoplite's gonna be produced out of this factory. That Hoplite doomed to a world, born into a world of pain and misery, as these mass extractors and production facilities going to go down very slowly. Monkey Lord starting to stomp its way over into the base of Stek. And have they noticed it yet? Do they know? They do know. Stek, buddy, this is something you need to notice. Oh no, is Stek just gonna die? Stek is finally gonna notice the Monkey Lord and get into the water. The massive amount of Strat Bombers that Wasteman has, this would be the time to use them. That's 4 Strat Bombers, that's a lot of DPS. You even have Whalers. It's time to just drop some Strat Bombs onto the Monkey Lord. Stek now going to be falling back into the water, but the Monkey Lord also can walk through the water, not quite on it, he's not Jesus. And is going to be a huge hindrance to Team 1, as this Monkey Lord out from Team 2 submerges underwater. Starts to make its way across the channel. We observe the Monkey Lord in its natural habitat, working its way up to its prey. Oh no! Oh no! I want to get a... Oh, look at that. A beautiful shot of the Monkey Lord emerging. Gonna get a lot of damage done. I don't see Stek having any way to deal with this. The Strat Bombers are gonna come in though. T3 mechs for Stek gonna go down. Another T2 mech's about to go down. T1 area. Okay, actually, this may not get very much done. With the strap bombers in conjunction with the whalers now, it's looking like this is not gonna be particularly successful. It is gonna kill off the economy of this base, which is gonna be feeling pretty good for RXO. I'm sure he's happy with the trade, but the question is he just going to dump a ton of mass for his opponents to suck up? Because if he is, it's going to be huge. And Stek almost killing himself, but does walk out. That Monkey Lord going to be reclaimable right inside Stek's base. The question is, was it worth it? The at what cost? You killed off the base, but at what cost? Well, you dropped a lot of mass right on top of Stek, who has a functioning economy and a lot of build power behind it. Could see a GC spammed up very quickly. A Megalith, though, almost done for RXO. RXO building a lot of experimentals. And that's going to be a very dangerous proposition for Team 1. Or no, Team 2. As Team 1 is kind of focusing on experimental play at the moment. They're experimenting, you might say. SMD now on the way for Fluffy Ginger. Have they spotted a nuclear missile? No, they haven't. Just a little bit of healthy paranoia there. The game slows down a little bit. We're going to go ahead and speed it up, because literally nobody's fighting. There's a little bit of action going down here on the southeastern corner, which, admittedly, in a 29-minute game, to have a little bit of dead time is fine. Let's go ahead and check on things we haven't checked on this game. Let's check on the economies. RXO sitting at 262 mass a second, 233 for Wasteman. 190 for Fluffy Ginger, and just around 100 for Stek. Overall economies means that Team 1, the southern team, is over 100 mass per second ahead of their opponents. Reclaim Stek in the lion's share seat as he starts reclaiming this Monkey Lord. Stek also getting strat sniped right now by RXO. The air advantage has been here for so long for Wasteman, but is it going to be enough? More strat bombers come in. Stek trying to dodge, but is it going to be enough? No, Stek goes down, making this a 1v2. As RXO pulls off the clutch play of killing off Stek. Stek trying to get back into the game, trying to use that Monkey Lord. He reclaimed most of it, but the issue is all of that mass was probably in his coffers. From that Monkey Lord, he was trying to build a GC, so maybe it wasn't. This GC now halfway done, 60 to 70%. Another GC started? Okay. Well, 2 GCs being built, but he can build that GC pretty quickly. Strat Bombers now out on the field trying to deal with Wasteman's expansionism. And RXO, Wasteman, and Fluffy Ginger are in it for the long haul this game as experimentals are coming online. A Megalith about to complete. They just need to finish the paint job and write a name on the side of it like Rabby. And then we will see the beauty of the Megalith take hold. The question is, how does he approach this? A bunch of torpedo bombers trying to prevent the Uashava of the of Wasteman from getting his into the base of RXO, and I'm apparently losing my ability to speak as a large assault now comes out from Wasteman. Wasteman has been storing up so many units. We're gonna be looking at well over 100 Auroras and hundreds of units now assaulting the frontal position. This is the red wave coming through, the horde of red starting to walk its way into the base of RXO and Fluffy Ginger. The units just streaming in. There's so many as they assault, but the Harbinger is proving a tough customer for all of these units. Of course, most of this is admittedly T1, so it looks a lot scarier than it is. The Harbinger's going to be clearing out a lot of this. The Salem's going to be helping out a little bit as well. The Megalith walking into a situation that this is actually just bad for the Megalith. You need to stop the Megalith and just let the Megalith fire at whatever it needs to fire at, but Megalith, not really good when it gets swarmed by lower tech units. It really does have trouble. You want to use the range and those high alpha damage cannons. It does seem as though the Harbingers out from Fluffy Ginger are going to be a godsend as they clear out most of what's going on over here. The Megalith's not going to take too much damage, and he is going to get ranked up, get close to ranking up in veterancy, so it's not going to be too horrible for it, but is an unfortunate situation where your Megalith loses about 30,000 HP for not a great reason. And overall, the Harbinger's going to clean up this other side. Harbinger's probably getting a lot of ranks of vet after this, as the mass field over here is colossal. 16,000 mass right there, and over here on the doorstep, 4,000 mass. Speaking of reclaim, let's go ahead and look at those numbers once again. 10,000 for RXO, Fluffy Ginger at 7,000, Wasteman only at 2,000. Both sides, in my opinion, could do a little bit better with reclaim, considering there's 100,000 on the map. Could get a lot of value out of it. RXO now sitting on a Monkey Lord and a Megalith, as the GC that was finished up not too long ago by Wasteman is now on the front lines. Going to be trying to be aggressive with that. The Strat Bombers out from RXO going to be going down eventually to some T1 mobile AA, it would seem, as it continues to try and just bomb all of the units in its path. Does drop a bomb and kill off a couple more units, but not a very effective Strat Bomber. Megalith gonna start trying to deal some damage to all of these units pushing forward. The GC is gonna be trying to walk its way over into the base of Fluffy Ginger. This could be a huge play. The question is, what's the response that's gonna come out from RXO and Fluffy Ginger to stop this travesty from happening? The GC at pretty much full health. The Megalith starting to do its damage over here on this side, already past halfway towards its first rank of veterancy. The GC now crossing the channel, going to be able to come out of this. Maybe we can get an even better shot of an experimental emerging from the water. Oh yeah, looking fly as hell, and that attack ping just gonna ruin it all. Yep, this GC is gonna do a lot of damage. Sorry, wasn't speaking. You don't really want dead time, but it was just admiring the beauty of this giant colossal behemoth walking into the base of Fluffy Ginger and just sort of killing everything. Bricks that were here to try and help are going to go down. A large air fight ensuing, but Wasteman going to lose this. Wasteman struggling with air. I would like to see this Galactic Colossus turn around and just... Oh, wow. They fought over a bunch of SAMs. Of course that was going to go poorly. Going for the T3 HQ and these T3 mexes would probably be the best call. Fluffy Ginger built his own experimental, but on the other side, I missed it! Somehow RXO dies. I'm not quite sure what to. Was he in the water? Was he trying to get in the water? I'm guessing there was some form of air snipage going on, but I'm just unsure as to what could have caused that. I don't even know who killed him. It had to, oh well, it had to be Wasteman or a Control K, so unfortunate. Here in the middle, a GC now fighting against the Megalith, and GC now built by Fluffy Ginger. The Megalith gonna go down. This Megalith hasn't really been as effective as I'm sure RXO or Fluffy Ginger had hoped it would be. You really have to babysit the Megalith, but it can be amazingly good when you do. The GC going to kill off the Megalith, going to get a rank of veterancy, which will help it last a little bit longer while fighting the second GC. If these Asylum shields could get into range and start trying to protect the GC, that would be huge. Is it going to work? No, it's not. They're not going to get in range in time. But this massive army, I would be surprised if it doesn't kill off the GC out for Fluffy Ginger. GC's fighting it out. The GC for Wasteman in the background over there. These Galactic Colossi just rampaging through the countryside. The GC for Wasteman, though, gonna go down momentarily. Did manage to get a lot of economic damage done with that. The Galactic Colossus now for Fluffy Ginger is going to go down, but the Harbinger is showing up just in time to be able to clear up most of this army, which means that this is just going to be a kind of evening of the odds. The field is going to be cleared. More GC is what Stex says, as the Monkey Lord snuck past the GCs and the armies and is now starting to work its way into the base of Waste Man. But overall, it seems as though Fluffy Ginger is running out of steam. This Harbinger army is really all he has on the ground. He doesn't really have experimentals lined up and ready to go. He could get some if he wanted them. He does still, I think, have the air advantage after that giant air loss for Wasteman, and that could be a shining, bright spot of happiness for his team. The Monkey Lord and GC both missing. Aiming is hard. And the Monkey Lord's just going to walk past and get into this base, maybe. 200 HP. Going to need to continue to kill off everything in its path and maybe get a rank of veterancy. Is it going to get a rank of veterancy in time? Is it going to work? No, it's not. The Harbinger's going to get in range before... No, it got a rank of veterancy. Oh, my word. Monkey Lord clutching it out and is going to get into the base, but the Whalers are going to make this a non-issue. Whalers going to mean that this base is not going to be... is not going to be under assail, not going to be assailed for too long. And over here, wall of PD trying to stop this. The land army is getting thinned out, but GCs being produced at a rapid pace, and another GC now on the way for Fluffy Ginger. I'd like to see Fluffy Ginger remember that reclaim is an option, because he has GCs to reclaim for days. Just on screen right here, he has 35,000 mass. If he goes up here, which he doesn't have anything, but he has a naval factory, so you could get engineers, 29,000. You have a lot of reclaim. If there's anything to take away from this game, it's remember that reclaim exists. Because I think if either side that does that wins this game. Because both of these players are sub 20,000 reclaim whenever there is 271,000 on the map. A bit silly. Support commanders now being produced by Wasteman. As Wasteman's calm sitting back here. He seems in a pretty decent position. A lot of strat bombers and a lot of air now being produced by Fluffy Ginger to try and clear all of this up. It seems as though the Harbingers were slowly taken down. There's a bunch of destroyers and naval units to try and thin this out, but the GC number is skyrocketing from 1 to almost 2 now. Is Wasteman stalling? If he's stalling, reclaim! Do it! You have Harbingers! Set Harbingers on patrol paths in your base. With all of this scouting, I think Wasteman gets a little bit scared. He throws his comm underwater. I think he's scared of the air presence out from Fluffy Ginger. And now the GC and the army are starting to march their way into the base. Strat bombers now coming in. Going to be trying to go for the comm of Fluffy Ginger, but it's not going to work. I would sit the strat bombers to kill off the air grid, but it's just not going to work. No, Wasteman reacting just in time to save himself. The strat bomber is going to come in, try and kill off the T3 HQ, but that doesn't matter. The land army is making it into the base. The GC now finished up for Fluffy Ginger, going to show up to try and kill off the GC of Wasteman. But even if he gets that, what is he going to do? There's all these T2 land units, and there's more T1, and there's constant units coming across the map to deal with him. The GC is locked in battle. It does seem as though the GC out from Fluffy Ginger is going to beat Wasteman's along with the assistance of these strat bombers that were just produced. Galactic Colossus is going to go down now for Wasteman. Fluffy Ginger has a GC to try and clear up everything else. It will slowly do so. Nuke spotted. There is a nuke, actually. Yeah, finished up for Fluffy Ginger. Is it going to be enough? Strat Bomber out from Wasteman just over here. Going to deal a ton of damage, but not going to quite get anything meaningful as it only damages a T3 P-Gen. And... oh! He realized Reclaim exists! He's reclaiming! He's getting the GC! He's going to have 2 GCs online! He might be able to hold as Fluffy Ginger builds up himself. Oh! Oh! There's a snipe attempt on the way. Let's keep an eye on this, as I believe the fighting in the middle has kind of petered out for Wasteman. He's not going to be able to continue that assault. Let's see if these torpedo bombers achieve anything of note. He knows where the comm is, I would assume. The comm doesn't have stealth. He has a few torpedo bombers saved up. It's just 10,000 HP. It's not a ton to deal with. But strat bombers out from Wasteman dealing massive damage, killing off the air grid and the nuke. That's going to be huge. The comm of Fluffy Ginger is under the water. Does he know where it is? If he does, he can maybe try and use the strat bombs on a ground attack move. The less of the torpedo bombers are in over here. They're built up. He's found the comm. Is he going to target onto it? You know that's the commander. Target onto it and move. Oh, this is the last chance. I think that if this doesn't work, or the double GC doesn't work, which in the middle, the double GC is pushing forward. One is about to die. He could maybe go for yet another GC with all of the wrecks of GCs laying around, but is that going to be enough? Gunships, whalers showing up, trying to keep an eye on those torpedo bombers in the north to see if they're going to go for that comm. Strat bombers on both sides wreaking damage upon the opponent. It just seems as though Fluffy Ginger, he's just starting to fall apart. Monkey Lord's trying to be thrown together. He's trying to get enough experimentals to muscle through this, but experimentals are being built on the other side. GC's going to be going down in the middle to the combination of whalers and a defending GC. And it's looking kind of desperate, but Fluffy Ginger gonna move out with the torpedo bombers. I'm so glad I noticed this. Oh no, it tracks the one torpedo bomber that isn't going, really? Track this one. These torpedo bombers making their way in towards the comm of Wasteman. If Wasteman isn't moving, he needs to move now, or he needs to kill the comm of Fluffy Ginger before this all happens. And in come the torpedo bombers. The comm of Wasteman gonna be falling in HP rapidly. That's enough. That's enough. The comm of Wasteman goes down to a snipe. He had won the game, but somehow managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And with that bombshell of an ending, thank you all for watching. You all are beautiful. Like, comment, subscribe, join the Patreon. Thank you to the patrons and the channel members. You all are beautiful. See you in the next one. Goodbye.